Have you ever felt like life was pushing you to your limits? Like everything is unraveling and you're left wondering if things will ever get better? What if I told you that the toughest, most painful moments in life are often the signals that something incredible is just around the corner? That your setbacks, heartbreaks, and even the loneliness you feel aren't the end of the story, but the start of something far more meaningful. Yes, there are signs, real, undeniable signs that things are about to shift for the better. The problem, most people overlook them. They don't recognize that their current pain is actually laying the foundation for a major breakthrough. In this video, I'm going to share 7 powerful signs that your life is about to improve dramatically. If any of these resonate with you, buckle up, because your life could be heading in a direction you never thought possible. But before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you'll never miss out on content that could change everything for you. Let's dive in. 1. You feel lost and uncertain. Have you ever felt like you're wandering without a map, unsure of where you're headed, questioning your choices, your relationships, maybe even your reason for being? That disorienting sense of being adrift can feel terrifying, like the ground beneath you is shifting, leaving you unsure if you're even on the right road. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Feeling lost isn't a sign you've failed. It's a sign that change is near. When do we usually feel the most confused? It's not when life is on repeat and every day feels the same. It's when we're standing at the edge of something new, when our old life no longer fits, but the new one hasn't fully come into view. That discomfort you're feeling, it's like being in the middle of a transformation. Imagine a caterpillar inside its chrysalis. It's dark, cramped, uncomfortable, and it has no idea that on the other side of that struggle is a pair of wings. The effort it takes to break out of that cocoon is what gives the butterfly the strength to fly. Without the fight, there is no flight. And the same goes for you. Right now, your world might seem like it's unraveling. But what if it's not falling apart? What if it's falling into place? What if this confusion is just your old identity making room for a stronger, more aligned version of you? Every big transformation starts with uncertainty. The people who never feel lost often never truly grow, but those who face the confusion head-on, who sit with it instead of running from it, emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for a life they were always meant to live. So if you feel lost right now, don't panic. Don't view it as a breakdown, see it as the start of a breakthrough. 2. You're drifting apart from people who were once close. Have you ever noticed that the more you grow, the more certain people start to fade from your life? Maybe it's a lifelong friend from Cedar Hill who doesn't seem to understand you anymore. Or maybe a coworker from your old job in Raleigh who no longer fits the person you're becoming. As we evolve, our energy shifts. The way we see life changes, and not everyone can or will come along for the ride. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it's one of the clearest signs you're leveling up. It's like this: not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some people are only meant to be part of your journey for a season. And when that season ends, clinging to them only holds you back. It hurts. Losing connections can feel like a personal failure, but in reality, it's a form of spiritual decluttering. Life is making space for people who match the version of you that you're becoming, not the version you used to be. Let go with love. Thank them for the role they played. And trust that the right people, the ones who inspire, support, and challenge you in the best ways, are already making their way into your life. 3. Relationships are starting to drift. Have your conversations started to feel off? Maybe you used to talk for hours with a friend from Brookridge, and now even texting back feels like a chore. Or maybe your cousin in Fairview used to be your biggest cheerleader, but lately they've gone quiet, or worse, cold. It hurts, it's confusing, and it can leave you wondering Is it me? But what if I told you this shift isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong? It's a sign you're outgrowing your old life. In fact, it's one of the strongest indicators that your world is about to evolve in a big way. Here's the reality. Not everyone is meant to go with you to your next chapter. As we grow, we change. And some people were only ever meant to walk part of the journey with us. Maybe their purpose was to teach you something, support you during a specific season, or reflect back to you who you were. But that doesn't always mean they're meant to stay. Think of a rocket taking off from Cape Haven Spaceport. As it ascends higher, its boosters detach, not because they were worthless, but because they served their purpose. If they stayed attached, they'd hold the rocket back from reaching orbit. The same goes for your life. The people who are fading out, that's not rejection, it's redirection, it's alignment. But here's where many people make the mistake. They cling to what was. They try to resuscitate dead friendships, force connections that no longer resonate, or hold on to people who've already checked out. And in doing so, they block the space that's meant for new, aligned relationships to enter. So if you're feeling isolated, if you've watched friendships fade, relationships fizzle, or even grown apart from family members who no longer get you, don't see it as a loss. See it as a clearing. Life is making room. And when the right people come in, people who see you, understand you, and meet you where you are, you'll look back and realize letting go was the best thing that could have happened. 4. Unexpected doors are opening. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a rut so deep it seemed like things would never change? Maybe it's been one rejection after another. Maybe you've watched your savings disappear, job leads go cold, or dreams feel more distant than ever. And then suddenly, something shifts. A surprise opportunity pops up. Someone reaches out with a project in Lincoln Grove. A friend introduces you to someone who could help. A side hustle idea sparks excitement. Maybe it's not huge, but it feels different. This is not coincidence. It's a signal. When life is preparing you for something bigger, it rarely hands it to you with flashing lights. Instead, it starts small with little clues, chance meetings, and unexpected moments of momentum. Most people miss them because they're too focused on what they expected opportunity to look like. But here's the secret. Big transformations often begin with tiny invitations. Think of how many success stories start with someone stumbling into something. Random a barista in Westbridge who meets a music producer, or a marketing intern who accidentally pitches an idea that turns into a business. The point is, life doesn't always give you a golden ticket. It might just hand you a conversation, a chance, an open door that doesn't look like much at first, but if you step through it, everything changes. And that's the catch. You have to act. Don't wait for the perfect timing or a grand sign. Take the small opportunities seriously. They might be the very thing that leads you to your breakthrough. 5. Even the smallest opportunity can be the spark sometimes. It's not the big, dramatic moments that change everything, but the subtle shifts. That email out of the blue. A casual chat with someone new in the coffee shop in Willow Creek. A tiny idea that keeps tugging at your thoughts. If you've been noticing unexpected chances, no matter how small, don't brush them off. These aren't random. They're signs that something major is brewing. Say yes. Explore the new. Take that meeting. Apply for that gig. Follow that hunch. Because when life starts to crack open a door, it's not just opening that one. It's pointing you toward a whole new room full of possibilities. You don't need to see the full picture. You just need the courage to step through the opening. So the question is, will you walk through it? 6. You feel a deep need to make a change. Have you ever opened your eyes one morning and felt it like your life just doesn't fit anymore? Maybe your daily schedule feels more like a grind than a rhythm. Maybe the job you once celebrated now feels like it's squeezing the life out of you. The people around you in places like Southport or Maple Hollow, they no longer fuel your fire. And deep inside, there's this persistent tug that says, you're meant for more. You might not be able to explain it. It's not logical, but you feel it in your bones. That's not just boredom or a bad day. It's your inner compass trying to redirect you. Most people ignore that feeling. They rationalize it away, telling themselves they should just be thankful, that rocking the boat is risky. But the truth is this: when your spirit starts calling for change, it's because you've outgrown your current world. It's like wearing shoes that once fit perfectly, but now pinch your toes with every step. You can keep walking in them, but eventually you'll be limping. That's what resisting change does. It turns discomfort into pain. The job you used to enjoy, suddenly draining. The relationship that once felt like home now feels heavy. Even simple routines start to feel like a cage. Why? Because when you're ready to expand, staying the same starts to hurt. And here's the best part: that discomfort isn't there to punish you. It's there to wake you up. It's the universe giving you a gentle shove out of the nest so you can finally fly. So if you've been feeling this internal nudge, this restlessness you can't quite name, don't push it away. Tune in, trust it, act on it. Because that whisper you keep hearing, it's your future self calling you forward. 7. You're suddenly drawn to self-growth. Have you noticed yourself diving into personal development like never before? Maybe you're reading books about purpose and mindset. You've subscribed to podcasts that inspire you during your drive through Lakeshore Heights. You find yourself swapping old habits for new routines, less scrolling, more journaling, less complaining, more reflection. It might seem like a phase, but it's not. This is your preparation stage. When you suddenly feel this strong pull to grow, to become better, wiser, stronger, it's not random. Your inner self knows something is shifting. Your subconscious is getting ready for what's coming. New paths, new people, new doors. It's like your spirit is clearing space, sharpening your tools, and suiting up for the next level. Most people don't just wake up craving growth unless something bigger is on the horizon. That hunger to improve, that curiosity for more, it's your sign that life is about to stretch you in the best possible way. So lean into it, feed your mind, strengthen your habits, because everything you're doing right now is preparing you for the version of yourself you're about to step into. You're being prepared for what's coming. Think about it. You wouldn't start training for a triathlon in Meadow Ridge unless you were planning to compete. In the same way, you wouldn't suddenly crave discipline, knowledge, and growth unless your life was about to require it. When you feel pulled toward bettering yourself, it's because your future is demanding a stronger, sharper, more elevated version of you. Here's what many people miss. Self-improvement isn't random. It's a message, a signal that you're entering a new era. It means your past struggles weren't meaningless. They were setting the stage. You're being aligned with a purpose greater than you imagined. So if you've recently found yourself reading late into the night, journaling by the lake in Oak Haven, or cutting out toxic habits, don't brush it off. That motivation is your inner self stepping into leadership. This is your evolution phase. Your future is knocking. And you're finally becoming the version of you that's ready to answer the door. Setbacks are piling up. Ever feel like life is throwing punches from every direction? You fix one problem and two more show up. Your car breaks down in Eastern Springs. Your savings dip. A relationship starts to crumble, one thing after another. It feels like you're stuck in a storm that just won't let up. It's exhausting. And the worst part, it can make you question if you're on the right path at all. But here's a perspective shift that might change everything. What if all this chaos isn't a sign of failure, but a sign that you're on the verge of a breakthrough? It might sound odd, but before anything big changes in life, there's almost always a season of turbulence. Why? Because transformation isn't easy. It tests you, stretches you, and prepares you. Think about it. If life handed you success, purpose, or joy without effort, would you be ready to handle it? Probably not. The struggle is the training ground. It's where strength is forged. Look at anyone who's ever achieved something meaningful, from musicians in Lexington Bay to entrepreneurs in River Hollow. They almost always went through a chapter where everything went wrong before it all came together. Because struggle builds endurance. It forces you to grow into the kind of person who can carry what's coming next. Picture an archer in Stillwater Hills. The more they pull the bowstring back, the more power the arrow will have once released. That's your life right now. Every setback, every rejection, every delay, it's all pulling you back. Not to break you, but to launch you forward. So if you feel like the weight is too much to carry hold on, this isn't the end of your story. It's the build-up to your next chapter. The moment everything clicks often comes right after the moment you nearly gave up. Life isn't trying to crush you. It's trying to mold you. And if you can just push through a little longer, you'll see that what felt like everything falling apart was actually everything falling into place. 7. You feel calm in the chaos. This one might surprise you because it doesn't make logical sense. Your life may feel like it's unraveling. Finances might be tight. Friendships might be dissolving. Obstacles keep stacking up in places like Glenridge or Lakewood. And yet, somehow, you feel calm. Not numb, not in denial, but deeply, quietly calm. There's a stillness within you, like your soul already knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. It's as if, despite the whirlwind around you, you're going to be okay. This is the most powerful sign of all, that inner peace in the middle of external chaos. It means you're aligned. It means your intuition is louder than your fear. And it means that, on some deep spiritual level, you trust the process. This peace doesn't come when everything is perfect. It comes right before everything changes. So if the world around you feels unsteady, but your heart feels steady, don't ignore it. That calm is confirmation that your transformation is already in motion. And your job now is simple. Stay centered and keep going. You feel peace in the middle of the storm. It's one of the most powerful and misunderstood signals of transformation. Your world might be in chaos. Maybe bills are piling up in your apartment in Crestline. Maybe relationships are falling apart. Plans are failing. Yet, deep inside, you feel calm. Not because you're in denial, not because you're ignoring reality, but because something inside you knows something big is about to shift in your favor. It's not an illusion. It's not wishful thinking. That inner stillness, that quiet assurance, it's your soul recognizing the truth before your mind can fully make sense of it. It's like standing in the eye of a hurricane. The winds are howling. Everything around you is in motion, but right where you are, there's peace, there's clarity, there's strength, because you're exactly where you're meant to be. Most people think peace comes after the storm ends, but those on the edge of a breakthrough feel it before the sky's clear. Why? Because deep down, their spirit already knows how the story ends. Your setbacks, your struggles, your losses, they weren't designed to tear you apart. They were lining you up for something better. Think about someone you've seen in the middle of life's toughest trials. Maybe a friend in Beacon Falls, or a mentor from your college days who carried themselves with quiet resilience. They weren't bitter. They weren't broken. They just knew. That kind of peace isn't ordinary. It's a signal, a quiet confirmation that something greater is coming your way. So if you're walking through difficulty right now, but you feel this calm undercurrent within you, trust it. That stillness means your breakthrough is closer than you think. The chaos isn't here to crush you. It's clearing the path for everything you've been waiting for. And on the other side of this storm, your best days are waiting. Now that you've seen all, 7 signs. Take a moment and reflect. Have any of these shown up in your life recently? If so, trust the process. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're in transition, and your breakthrough is on the way. If you found this message helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on powerful insights like this. And let me know in the comments which of these signs have shown up in your life. I'd love to hear from you. Stay strong, stay focused, and get ready because your greatest chapter is just beginning.